Anna, what's the most important thing a solo cruiser needs to know?
I think the most important thing for any cruiser to know is safety first, but especially if you're a solo cruiser.
Anna, I'm shocked because everything I see online says the most important thing that solo cruisers worry about is price.
Pricing is kind of a squishy area for solo cruisers, and we're definitely going to talk about that among other things that we want you to know as a solo traveler. But the first thing we're going to talk about is safety. Are you going to be safe on a cruise if you go by yourself? And the
Well,
answer, yeah, you're probably going to be safe.
well, who cruises solo?
Well, anybody can cruise solo. You might have a situation where you've decided you just need to disconnect from people across the board
Get me away from that Karen at work.
and you're going to go by yourself. Or something may have happened where you booked a trip with a friend or a family member and now they're not able to go with you.
Tommy is not dead to you. Tommy is the defendant because we're going to sue him for the money he owes you. And later we're going to tell you how much he owes you.
Welcome to the People's Court.
At sea.
At sea. But yeah, anybody can travel solo. You, for whatever reason, you just need to be aware that you are not entering some plastic bubble where you are insulated from all bad things. There is not a force field that keeps evil away from your ship. This is not Star Trek or Star Wars or any of those spacey kind of things where there are force fields. This is still the real world. You don't know who is sailing with you. You don't know who works for the cruise line.
Who is that lady up on the bridge calling herself captain? Where does she get off?
We're hoping she's the captain. But you definitely want to keep your guard up the same as you would at home. You're not going to walk a busy city street with your handbag wide open. You're not going to put yourself solo in a uncertain situation. If you can have somebody in your area or be in a public space, you're going to do that same as you would on a cruise ship. Don't invite somebody that you don't know into your cabin. Don't go off to a secluded area with someone you don't know on the ship.
You might take a cruise to Italy, dock in Napoli, and if you're solo, you won't know how to cross the streets.
Yeah, you need a grandmom to help you cross the street in Naples. But yeah, definitely keep yourself safe. Know that you use the same precautions on a cruise ship that you would at home if you're in the cabin by yourself.
Pack your street smarts.
Lock your door. If someone knocks on your door, use your peephole. Don't just open the door. The only people that are likely to come to your cabin is your cabin steward, maybe a room service attendant.
You know they're coming, you call them.
Yes, you'll definitely know they're coming, but you don't have to be in the cabin alone with them. Stand at the door when they come, hold the cabin door open so that anybody walking by can see you or hear you. Let them do their thing inside the cabin and then let them out.
Even if you book a stateroom upgrade or you're part of the club, you know, you got yourself an order of chocolates or champagne, as some people call it, you know they're coming, or you know, you're out on an excursion.
Yeah, just be safe, just use precautions, and don't put yourself in situations where you're going to be vulnerable. God bless you.
What's next on your list?
We're going to talk about that pricing.
Okay, so right before this started, I priced out on a luxury level, premium, whatever it's called, tier, middle tier cruise line. A cruise to Alaska to Seward and northbound $1,800 for the whole cabin. That works out to $1,900 or $900 each, and we're going to go Dutch.
No, we're not.
Isn't that the word where I pay? Oh no, my treat.
That's the word.
My treat. Yes. My treat. Okay, so that's $900 a person. For a solo passenger, everything else the same cruise, same stateroom, everything, $1,250.
Yeah, so if you are a solo cruiser, we've talked about this in another video, and you book a regular stateroom, and by regular, I mean not a solo specific cabin, you are going to pay your base cruise fare, the base cruise fare for a second guest, and then your port charges, your taxes, and your gratuities. So it won't be exactly double of what a single person would pay, but you are going to pay
something more.
Something more.
Anna, what's the best cabin for a solo traveler?
So you're going to want to pick the cabin that you're going to be most comfortable in. And we've talked before, there are solo cabins on almost every cruise ship now. The solo cabins tend to be inside cabins. They don't have to be. Some cruise lines do have ocean view staterooms for solo travelers.
It's your vacation though. Book what you want and you can afford.
Book what you want. If you want the outdoor space of a balcony, which some people prefer, and I
claim to have.
I prefer to travel with a balcony.
I have inside stateroom phobia, please.
Book the balcony. No one will know. There's no door identifier. There's nothing on your mailbox or on your cabin door. There's nothing that says you are a solo traveler.
Oh, that's a great point. On our most recent Disney Wish cruise with the grandchildren, our door magnets, besides the other stuff, had name tags, and the cast member tag said Merman Dude. Not our names, it's what the grandkids call us. And on the grandkids cabin, they didn't have name tags with their names. The name tag said first time cruiser, first time sailor. So, you don't have to advertise that you're alone in the stateroom.
Yeah, definitely not. And you
And don't
want
do
to
it.
you want to not do that. You want to make sure that no one except you has any idea that you're traveling by yourself.
And is there any way to meet some of these solo travelers socially before you set sail?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know it's only for grandmoms. I'm a grandmom. I live there. Facebook. There are cruise groups for your specific cruise, and you want to go on Facebook and find those groups because that's how you find your people. If your cruise group is big enough, they may even plan their own solo cruiser meet and greet, but it's a great place to find other solo travelers that you might want to meet when you get on board the ship.
Okay, so you're on Facebook, they're going to have your name, they know you're on the cruise that day. When you have your meet and greet, don't have it out front of your stateroom, have it at the cafe
Yeah,
lounge
you
on the
don't
Lido
have to
deck.
give anybody your cabin number. If you do plan a meet and greet through your Facebook cruise group or some other social media cruise group, definitely don't give your cabin number. Do it in a public place. Meet in the atrium, meet in one of the bars or the pubs that are on board, meet in a lounge area.
You don't have to tell them you're traveling solo. Tell them that you're traveling with
No,
a
but
with a friend or guest.
it's a great way to meet people if you want a dining companion ahead of time, if you want an excursion companion ahead of time, if you just want somebody to lounge by the pool with ahead of time. The Facebook group or your social media group is a good place to do that.
Yeah, they could be the person that watches your towel while you hop in the pool for a little bit.
The other good place to do that is pretty much across the board. Every cruise line will have some kind of solo meet and greet on your first night. And it's a great place for solo cruisers to go, get to know each other, see which people you click with. That's where it becomes a little bit problematic if you want to go to future meet and greets. The people that go the first night tend to kind of buddy up or form cliques. I don't want to say cliques, but they do kind of fraction themselves off with people that they have more in common with. So if you're not at the first meet and greet, you may miss out on an opportunity to definitely meet your people. But most cruise lines will have some kind of solo cruise activities, games. They might have a solo cruise pub crawl. They might have an ice cream social. You'll find other meet and greets throughout your cruise so that you can, if you change your mind and decide you want to buddy up with somebody, you'll be able to do that.
And if you go in and you find out that it just doesn't jive with you, you don't have to hang out with them later. But at
Yeah.
least you'll know who they are to stay away from.
Yeah. And speaking of dining, which we did during that segment, you're not going to feel uncomfortable solo dining on a cruise ship.
There's all kinds of reasons to be dining solo.
Lots of them. You're always going to see somebody in the buffet dining by themselves. Either they've gotten up before everybody else in their stateroom and they've come down for breakfast,
Someone's kid's gotten sick and the better caretaker stayed in the cabin with them.
and the dad went and got himself something to eat. Or they're just popping, everybody's at the pool, they're going to pop in for an afternoon snack or something like that. There will always be tables in the buffet with solo diners there.
So you're a solo traveler. You watch this video and you're like, I'm going to become a solo cruiser. You rush to the computer. There's a thing on the dining page that lets you say early or late seating, and then there's a block for any dietary restrictions or other things to note. How else can you notify the cruise line?
You can call them, your travel agent can call them, you can email them. I know Royal Caribbean lets you email to say what your table preference is, that you prefer to dine by yourself. But even if you are put at another table, the cruise lines do have a little bit of science to it. You may find that you're at a table with all other solo diners. You might find yourself at a table with people that are of a similar age to you, a similar geographic region. The cruise lines do put some thought into where you sit. They tend not to just sit you at a random table. They want you to be happy and have fun.
And if this is a big concern for you, whether you want to dine by yourself or you want to meet strangers from around the world, as soon as you get on board, beeline it to the maitre d'.
So let's talk a little bit about excursions because I have a really strong opinion when it comes to solo travelers and excursions.
Of the two of us, I am a solo cruise excursion expert, having had to suffer in silence this ordeal.
He does nothing silently, but yes, he is a PADI dive master and he loves to scuba dive. I saw that documentary back in the 70s. You might have seen it as well, Jaws. And I know that when you get in the ocean, things eat you. So I don't go into the ocean. I did not go on any of his scuba dive trips, but fortunately he was able to buddy up on board the ship, either with another cruiser or with one of the people that is running the excursion on board the ship. He was able to meet up with someone on the ship and not have to do it by himself. If you are traveling solo, again, go back to your Facebook group, see if there are other people that want to do an excursion with you. Go to the meet and greets on board the ship, see if there's someone that wants to do an excursion with you. Can you do the excursions by yourself? Absolutely. Don't worry about not having somebody to go with you. Go ahead. This is though where I recommend that you book your excursion through the cruise ship instead of getting off the ship and just taking a random cab or a random tour.
This is
right
not the
off
time to
pier.
roll the dice and save $5.
No.
Pack your street smarts with you and cruise excursion.
Yeah, there are places in this world that are not especially safe. So if you are with a group, especially with the group on board the cruise ship, they do tend to feel a little bit safer to me. You don't know who the cab driver is when you get in that cab. There are plenty of stories of unscrupulous
Yeah, Mr. Krabs is unscrupulous down there at Bikini Bottom.
unscrupulous taxi drivers. There are stories about tour excursions or offers off of the pier where they will take
This
your
is
money.
not meant to scare you. We've talked to several women that travel solo. Safety was a big concern of theirs. And we happen to know, Anna knows a man in a group that was pickpocketed right in the middle of a group. I mean, so it affects all genders. It's just, you've got to have your street smarts with you. And if you're solo, it's not worth the $5.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're a solo traveler, it's a little bit safer to book your excursion through the cruise ship where you know there's going to be a group of people going. You're not kind of just taking a chance with some random person.
We were on
off the ship.
Virgin and the bus pulled away and almost left how many people at the brewery?
Half of them.
Because there was nobody on the bus to
But-
say, "Where's Mary?"
But because we were a group, there were other people on the ship that or on the excursion.
On the excursion that yelled to the bus driver,
Yeah, don't leave because
"Hey, we're missing some
we're
people."
missing a lady, or I just think it's a little bit safer to stay with a cruise ship excursion unless you know a tour operator off the ship. You know they're reputable. You've researched. You've checked Cruise Critic. You've looked online. You've done your due diligence, and you feel comfortable with somebody off of the ship. That's one thing. But
I go on excursions on my own. I don't pack a passport, and I buy sushi at random gas stations.
Yeah.
If you live your life that way, you're not going to. This segment wasn't for you.
No, just be cautious. This goes back to safety first. Take your excursions, have your fun, just do it in the safest way possible.
Yeah, and have fun. Don't ruin your vacation or worse for $5 on an excursion.
So, is solo cruising for you? It may be. You will find things to do on your own. You will find other people to do things with if you choose that.
You have both options.
Just know that you'll always want to keep your guard up and stay safe. If you like our content, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
If you like the puppies.
Yeah, they were quiet this time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
It's free.
It's absolutely free. And if you want to be one of the first people notified when we put something new out, hit the bell.
For a limited time, that's also free.
For a permanent time, that's also free.
And if you'd like to support Anna's at-sea drink of the day habit,
you can become a member of our community for as low as 99 cents a month.
Oh my God, that low.
That low. You can't even get something on the dollar menu for that. But
Anna, that's a true value.
Yeah, it's absolutely a value. We would love to have your support. And again, always, if you have any comments, any questions, something that you're wondering about solo cruising that we haven't covered, just drop it in the comments and we will let you know.